Hi and good evening. My name is Muhammad Akif Farhan bin Saiful Uzairi, number metric 306933. Today I want to explain to you guys what is flowchart. Flowchart is a programming visual representation of the flow of a process or algorithm. It uses a series of shapes, symbols, and arrows to show the steps involved in solving a problem or executing a task. Flowcharts help programmers plan, visualize, and communicate complex processes or algorithms in a clear and logical way before implementing them in coding. There are many symbols in flowchart that has its own representation. For example, the shape of oval represents the start and end of a process. The shape of rectangle represents a process, operation, or instruction. And lastly, the shape of parallelogram represent input and output in the flowchart. There are many apps that you guys can use to draw flowchart, but today I will show you guys how I draw flowchart and run them in flowgorithm. So now I will show you guys how to use the flowgorithm apps. For today's example, I will use this flowchart to calculate the electric bill of a household. So first let me run this program and show you guys. So for the first example, I will enter the input of 200 kilowatts. As you can see, the output now is 43.6 ringgit. How? When we enter the input 200 kilowatt, it will go through here and check if it's less than or equal to 200. So this statement is true. The electric bill will be calculated by the 200 times by 0.2186. So we will get the output of electric bill 43 ringgit 6 cents. What happen now if I enter the value more than 200? So now if I enter the input of 300 kilowatts, as you can see, the value now is 77 ringgit. Why? So first, when we enter the input of 300, the value will go through here and check if it is true or false. So it is false. It will go through here and check the value again. If this statement is true or false. So this statement is true. When it is true, the electric bill will be calculated by the first 200 value plus by the remaining kilowatt use times by 0.334. We add those two values, we will get the output of 77 ringgit. So now, if I enter the value of 550 kilowatt, now the output will become 209 ringgit. Why? Because as I said, when we enter the input of 550 kilowatt, if we go through here and check if this statement is true or false. So this statement is false. The input will go through here and check again if it's true or false. So it is false. When it is false, it goes through here and check here. Is 550 is less than or equals to 600? Yes, it is true. When it is true, the input will go through here and the electric bill will be calculated by adding the first 2 kilowatt and plus by the kilowatt use, the remaining kilowatt use, times by 0.516. We add those three values, we will get the electric bill. But this does not end here, because when a household use more than 300 kilowatt of electric bill, there will be additional fee, which is KWTBB fees. So how to calculate this fee? We will calculate by 0.016 times by the total of electric bill. Now the total of electric bill will become the electric bill plus the KWTBB. So that's how we get 209 ringgit. So now, if I enter the value more than 600, For example, I will enter the value of 876 kilowatts. As you can see, we will get the output of 397 ringgit.66. Why? Because as always, the input will go through here and check if it's true or false. So if false, it goes through here and check again if this statement is true or false. So it is false. We go through here and check again if it is true or false. So it is false. So if we go through here and check again if this statement is true or false, is 876 less than or equal to 900? Yes, it is. So this statement is true. If it's true, the electric bill now will be calculated by adding the first three value and plus with the remaining kilowatt use times by 0.546. We add those four value, we will get the electric bill. But this does not end here, because when a household use electric bill more than 600 kilowatt, there will be additional fees also, which is SST. So we calculate the SST by times the last two value by 0.06. When we time those value, we will get the SST. And as I just said, when the household use more than 300, there will be KWTBB. We calculate the KWTBB, we will get the additional fee. So now the total bill is electric bill plus by the SST plus with the KWTBB, we will get the output of 397 ringgit.66. So now for the last example, I will now enter the value of 1400 kilowatts. As you can see now, if I enter the value, it will go through the process again and again and again until here. And now we will check if this statement is true or false. So is 1400 is less than or equal to 900? It is false, right? So the input will go through here, and the electric bill, as always, you will calculate the first four blocks and the remaining kilowatt use times by 0.571. We add those 5 value, we will get the electric bill. And as I just said, if the household use more than 600, we will get the additional fee, which is SST. So we add the last two value times by 0.06, we will get the SST. And then when the household use more than 300, there will be KWTBB fees. So we calculate the KWTBB fees, we will get, and now the total electric bill is the electric bill plus by SST plus by KWTBB, and that's how we get 780 ringgit.96. So that is how we use flowchart to calculate the electric bill. So that's all for today. Thank you.